What's good, everybody? It is Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We call it the Early Edge. We're powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not close. I got to admit, sometimes there are days that are better than others, or you need a little pick-me-up. Big Papa, thank you in the chat. Sometimes you get wrapped up in all this stuff, and it becomes bigger than it should be. He says it's a glorious morning, and it is, to be alive, to do this all together. I see many of you in the chat already talking about all the bad beats last night, and we had a lot of them too. We talk about it all the time. I don't know why February does this, but everything gets turned upside down, and it's very difficult. But you know the one thing we're never going to do? We're never going to take a day off. We're never going to backtrack. We're never going to do any of that, and you guys know that. That's why we're all here together. Now, in just a matter of weeks, it's one of the greatest sporting events in all of the land, in all of the sporting calendar. Are you better than us? Can you beat us? Well, we want you to try. March Madness almost here. Brackets, come lock in your spot now for the 2023 Early Edge March Madness Bracket Challenge, as we all compete for free for tournament glory, legacy, and prizes too. Simply hit that QR code or go to tinyurl.com/theearlyedge to lock in your spot right now. We have had many 3 or 4 day stretches like this where it feels like everything is so hard. You just got to get through it, trust the numbers, trust the process, and also bring in 3 of the absolute very best minds in sports. Here they are, first and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach Larry Buck. It's great to see you guys here. Can't wait to hear what everyone's on today. Look, another big college basketball slate today. The NBA, it's going to be back tomorrow. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't wait for the NBA to return. I miss the daily DFS grind that I share with all the SportsLine members. Feels empty without having that rush before 6 p.m. Central Time every night.
It really does, doesn't it? It really, really does. We complain about the NBA all the time, but yet we want it back. By the way, Prop Stars will be joining the morning show a lot moving forward. We now have NBA props on the site as well. All right, that's Mikey from Nashville, Tennessee. Now, this man is everything soccer. And while other people were like, oh, I think Liverpool has what it takes, they go up 2-0. I look on Twitter, and everybody's like, see, Liverpool. There was one man who was on Real Madrid. And, oh, by the way, all of our picks on SportsLine itself, 7-0 yesterday in soccer. So we're much bigger than just the early edge. Buckets, congratulations. 5 straight goals yesterday on Real Madrid. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, M Squared and Larry. Yes, I was on Real Madrid yesterday, and when they were down 2-0, I was seeing some pretty interesting and aggressive messages online. I went to the bathroom. I let my dog out for a walk, came back, and it was 4-2 all of a sudden. So an absolutely insane game, an implosion by Liverpool there, and that's just the Champions League for you. Crazy stuff happens all the time in this competition.
It's absolutely bananas. Now, he is our OG for a reason, and he's been through many times like this. Maestro, how come February every year is so difficult? Oh no!
What?
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Hey, that's on Jake. That's on Jake. That's not on me.
Wow.
I'm throwing him under the bus.
Clearly.
I'm throwing him under the bus. And, Coach, it's actually been a pretty solid month for me in terms of college basketball. I just want to keep it going. And to be honest, I'm at about 70% today, but there are 3 different SEC programs I really wanted to talk about. And I said, you know what? I got to come on and talk about this. I can't keep it to myself. So let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines. And we talk about this all the time. It may not be today, but it might be moving forward. Some devastating news, but kind of an interesting, not even interesting, just sad angle to this. And Maestro, that's where we're going to start with Alabama.
Yeah, the best player on the best team in the SEC, it was revealed yesterday, brought the gun to the scene of the shooting where a 23-year-old woman, a mother of a 5-year-old, was killed. And apparently Alabama knew all about this. And Nate Oates came out yesterday and made some very disappointing comments in the way he handled it and said, college kids will be out. He hasn't done anything wrong. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, or was the gun at the wrong place in the wrong time? I'm not sure what he was talking about there. He did come back and clarify and try to apologize for that. But I'm seeing some columnists in Alabama saying, regardless of whether he's going to be charged with anything, it doesn't look like he'll be charged with anything. He should not be on the team. But of course, we know how sports works, and there has been no indication that they would even consider taking him off or suspending him or anything like that. He's good to go for tonight. They're laying 17.5, 18 points at South Carolina. It's just kind of mind-blowing that all of this was known, but it only came out yesterday in testimony. And I guess that's the way things work, in big-time college athletics.
It is so bizarre that there's been 2 big-time stories this year. And we talked about it when you and I were at the Super Bowl. The other big story is New Mexico State. And they had a gun issue and involved in a murder. And their program is done now. I mean, literally, they're not even playing. And you've got a star. And he also was part of the 94 feet segment with Jay Billis on their big game last week about how great of a kid he is. His coach said never been in trouble. This is a very, very, very sad situation all the way around. But as you said, Maestro, if he's on the court tonight, what does that say? What does that say? That's the question. And we'll see if actually he takes the court tonight or if they decide to hold him out. All right, Maestro, thank you for the start. All right, now, Champions League. It has been absolutely bananas. But if you are brand new to soccer betting, this is the biggest clubs in the world, the biggest competition in the world, the most money in the world, and teams really want to win. However, buckets, as we come to you and we talk about our 7-0 on the site yesterday, there has been somewhat of an update with Man City. Give us a little Champions League information.
It is just absolutely absurd how quickly these lines move based on any kind of information that comes out. Manchester City announced yesterday that they will not be traveling with world-class midfielder Kevin De Bruyne or Laporte or Alex Stones in the back line. So 3 of the starting 11 for Man City will not even be available as subs due to an unknown illness at the moment. We saw Man City money line move from as high as minus 155 in the past couple days down to minus 110 this morning. So those lines will always be changing. And it's something that we have to keep an eye out for because the value, and I know we hate that word, can disappear like that in these matchups.
And also, we talk about live betting all the time. Mikey is just our genius at it. But like yesterday, when Liverpool is up 2-0, how often do you look at live betting one of these big games?
Especially when you've got the 2-leg situation here where it's just whoever has the total amount of most goals over both games win. I love live betting here because Real Madrid cannot afford to sit back in that situation. I know a lot of people jumped on BTTS and Real Madrid to score twice and over in that goals because Real Madrid is not going to sit back and lose that game 2-0. It is not in their blood, and live betting is a fantastic angle to look at some of these games.
All right, I encourage you to follow my man on Twitter as he is constantly talking about live betting in between the Freya tweets.
Well, I was going to say maybe not right now, Coach, as I am locked out of my Twitter at the moment still. So.
Well, I didn't want to put that on Front Street, but since you did, all right, somebody hacked Bucket's Twitter. So if you see something that is out of character for him, it wasn't him. It wasn't him, and that sucks. That sucks. Do you have something, Mikey?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to talk about the Nate Oates thing and the Alabama thing as well. I found it interesting as well that Nate Oates also just signed that extension through the 28-29 season during the middle of all this.
Wow. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's nothing more I can say. All right, let's get into it because we named Wednesdays Bounce Back Wednesday just kind of on a whim. But it's remarkable how many times we do need a Bounce Back Wednesday sometimes. So today is that day. And we're going to get positive, not negative today. So before we do that, though, I cannot wait for March Madness. It's one of our pillars of our entire sports betting year. And they're one of our incredible partners because we have it at CBS.
Never seen nothing like this before. Never seen nothing like this. It don't matter where you're from. Come on, come on, come on. 3, 2, 1, let's go. You can feel the madness. Never seen nothing like this before. Never seen nothing like this.
Ooh, March Madness is going to be fantastic. Championship week, the entire tournament. Oh, I cannot wait. But we're going to start today with something that is so incredibly important to us here at CBS and the company, and that is Champions League. Buckets, start us off.
Well, I've got one pick for both of the big UCL games this afternoon, but I would like to start with a little bit of synergy with my man, the speculator. I am looking at this RB Leipzig versus Manchester City game that now we see does have a little bit of a drop off from the visitors here. Speculator is on over 2.5 goals in this matchup, and I love that. And I'm backing him with both teams to score currently at minus 130. That was also at minus 160 yesterday before the lineup news because Kevin De Bruyne being gone is a problem. However, these two teams know nothing but offense. When they played in 2021, the game ended 6-3 with Christopher Nkunku for Leipzig getting a hat trick and losing the game. The second leg they played was a similar match, not quite as aggressive, but 2-1. These are two teams that know that they have to score, and they have to score multiple times if they want to get out of this round of 16. Then for my second match, I am looking at that Inter Milan versus Porto FC game this afternoon. And this is basically going to be everything that the Man City Leipzig game is. This will be the opposite. This game could very, very well end 0-0, maybe 1-0. But what I am backing here is Porto double chance, currently sitting at plus 105. Porto has not lost a match in any competition in their last 22 games. Since October of last year, this is the best defensive unit in all of Portugal, and they are the undisputed kings of the 0-0 game. And drawing 0-0 in Milan is not a bad outcome at all here for Porto. It's probably what they're going to be playing for. Double chance at plus odds for a team that has done something time and time and time again. I'll take that any day.
Capper Taylor says, yes, I love the synergy. That's the positivity I'm looking for, Capper Taylor. And the kings of the 0-0 draw. I didn't even know that's something you could brag about. I didn't even know you could.
It shouldn't be, but they brag about it more often than they should.
We 0-0. Solid effort by us. We got the one. Well, you only have the 1 point because it's in the Champions League. All right. I love that start. Now, we've got one play from SportsLine, by the way. And if you're not a SportsLine member, what in the world are you doing? But I'm going to do you a solid. Use a promo code early, and then you'll have 30 days for free. There is so much more to SportsLine than just the early edge. We've got a ton of great cappers, a ton of information. What do we say all the time? Educate and entertain. Knowledge is power. Then after that, you're playing with house money. It's $10 a month. We believe in quantity and quality. So Marshall, the Thundering Herd, they won 4 in a row. This is basically a pick'em game anyway. We're going to go on the money line. It's even money plus 100. 4 in a row, and our simulations at SportsLine have them winning by 5 and scoring 80 points. Marshall, do not sleep on them. They're a really good basketball team. They will win tonight on the money line over James Madison. All right, Mikey. So many people in the chat have been raving about how they've discovered your model the night before and how helpful it has been. How helpful has it been, and how does it play into your pick today?
Yeah, it's been very helpful. It's really helpful if you looked at the numbers last night. And I've been getting these up earlier and earlier, around 8 to 9 p.m. now instead of 11 p.m. for many of you. I'm playing the over here in the St. John's Georgetown game. I played it at 154. It is moved to 157 in a few spots, but it has come back down to 155 over at Caesars currently, 156.5 in others. It profiles very similar to the Marquette game that we saw yesterday. Open 147 all the way up to 150, closed 146.5. I think there's going to be strong opinions on both sides here. If you want to wait, it's a very volatile game because of the pace of play. So you will likely find this number again pregame if we don't have a ton of points in the first 4 minutes of this game. But either way, we're going over. The reason why we're going over, massive, massive pace of play. St. John's, they're one of the top teams in college basketball in terms of pace. I have them rated 3rd. Now they're playing Georgetown. Georgetown, what they like to do, they want to run. They want to score in transition. They're still a very athletic team, a team that has been playing a lot better of late. They've actually covered 8 of their last 10 games. I expect this game to be very competitive. What's happened to St. John's is they've started to slip defensively. This team has fallen quite a bit here. It is a tough conference there in the Big East, but this team has fallen to 88th in terms of defensive rating. I like the over here. I make the number 159. Obviously, grab it as low as you possibly can. I think there's going to be great in-game opportunities with this one.
Yeah, that is such a big thing now, a popular thing now, but a really smart thing when you have a high total. See how the game's going to start. See how the flow is. See if teams are going to hit buckets. And if they don't, number comes down. Boom, got it right there. But watch the game and follow my man on social media. He's the absolute very best. All right. Yes, Mikey, go.
Oh, yeah, I was saying, and the other play that I had is also moved, unfortunately, the top play, which was the Iowa-Wisconsin game. Watch for that one as well. If you can get it back down to 138, 137.5, I think that one's going to have a ton of early line movement in that game. Just the nature of those two teams, the way that they play, polar opposites. You'll see a ton of line movement early in that one. So look for 137-ish or below if you want an entry point in the first 5 minutes of that game.
All right, and we will keep that in mind for Early Edge in 5 today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Our other daily show, Best Bets, we'll see where that is. Maybe we can fire on that one as well. But we have 2 shows every single day. Mikey, you're the man. Thank you very much. All right, I've got one play today. I've kind of been sitting on the sidelines the last few days because mainly I do the NBA, but I want to get back in the fray. If I'm going to preach we cannot take a step back, then I've got to lead by example. There are a ton of games tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You need to be very, very selective and a little bit lucky, too, right now because we don't know what's going on. But I tell you this, when I look at Furman, I see a team that loves to run, loves to score 83, 93, 94, 80, 79. All we need tonight is for Mercer to do their job. Get me to 60, and we cover this number of 140.5. And Furman doesn't like to play defense. And Mercer, they're not a great team, but they will play to the level, and if they're allowed to score, they will. I love this over at 140.5. All right, we've done the site, we've done Mikey, we've done buckets, we've done the coach. But now, the man said he couldn't stay away. He couldn't stay away, and I love that about him. A rabid dog. Maestro, floor is yours.
Okay, we're seeing some sharp money come in on the Florida Gators at home, and I don't get it. I am on Kentucky. Colin Castleton broke his hand. They lost by about 20 without him. Take a look back at the first meeting against Kentucky. Florida only lost by 5. Castleton had 25 points and 8 boards, and he was all over Sheboy. Sheboy went 2 of 14. Now he should go off in this matchup with no Colin Castleton. It's 2.5 now. I'll lay it. I also posted 3.5 on the site because I really thought this was going to close at 4. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. Staying in the SEC, LSU's lost 14 straight. They blew their chance. They could have beat Georgia. They could have beat South Carolina. Now they get a very hot Vandy team coming to town. That's won 5 straight, beating Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn in there. And Liam Robbins, 7-footer, been around basketball forever now. He played at Drake, played at Minnesota. Now he's at Vanderbilt, and he's absolutely dominating. 7-footer. He's averaging 22 points and over 10 boards in his last 5 games. I think LSU will lose their 15th straight. I'll lay 2.5.
Boy, how bad has LSU become? How bad has they become? By the way, if you're a SportsLine member, last night, Texas A&M. All the Sims said, ride them. All the cappers said, ride them. And, boy, they beat Tennessee at home last night. Keep an eye on A&M heading into March Madness. And also, how about Miami? How about Miami getting it done, too? They are a great team. Mikey, I saw you tweet about Miami last night. Why do you like them so much?
Yeah, I just think that they're dangerous, but they've got so many guards that can play really well. And when you get into neutral site games, it becomes incredibly important to be able to take care of the basketball and score from the perimeter. Look, college basketball is wide open this year. I've got 41 teams that I think have a meaningful % chance of winning the NCAA tournament.
So we might have really good games all the way through instead of just in certain rounds. That could be
absolutely,
amazing.
Definitely.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Mikey. By the way, Buckets are asking in the chat, do you like anybody from a goal-scoring perspective today?
I like Silva for RB Leipzig. I feel like you've got to say Holland for Man City, but it's probably not going to be worth the minus 160 it's sitting at. Apparently, with KDB not playing, who has more than half of his assists have been to Holland, I would actually stay off of him and maybe look at Mahrez from a Manchester City side. He's going to be that PK taker, and this is going to be a scrappy and physical game there.
That's a really good point because De Bruyne, he loves to do that centering, usually from the right side. Usually from the right side into the middle, and then Holland's great at finishing with a header or just getting physical. So that's a great, astute point by you. Look at that, Buckets. I thought my point was pretty good, too. From the right side, like that.
That was good. That's good.
Thank you. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here's the recap. Courtesy of the snake who just climbed out from under the bus that he was thrown under. M squared, St. John, short side over 154. Then the Maestro, he's on 2 plays from the SEC. Kentucky minus 2.5. Also Vanderbilt minus 2.5. Then Buckets, 2 plays today. Porto, double chance, meaning if they win or draw, we cash this ticket. Then RB Leipzig and Man City, both teams to score. That's come all the way back down to minus 130, which is a number we can certainly play at. Mercer Furman over 140.5 for me. Then one play from SportsLine. Our simulations have Marshall beating James Madison 80-75, and we're playing the money line at even money. Do not forget, in your feed right now, Early Wedge. You guys have loved the show, our brand new golf show with the counselor and Patrick McDonald. So thank you all very much. It's live on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time, but of course you can watch it on demand all the way up until the start of the Honda Classic, which is tomorrow morning. All right, good show today, positive show today. And we still have one more show today. But with all of that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets. Let's go Bounce Back Wednesday straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Maestro, M Squared, Buckets, Snake on the ones and the twos, and everybody in the chat. We do this together. That's the beauty of this thing, because it's not easy. You guys know that. But we grind for you so we can win with you. That's what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.